Hello everyone and welcome to episode 14 of the Save File podcast. With me tonight, a man whose PlayStation networked with the best of them, although no longer because he doesn't want to pay for his PS Plus subscription. F.
Hey, what up?
And the man who has the audacity to think my jokes aren't funny. It's Josh. Just Josh.
I'm gonna put you between the train and the platform and spin you around to like a rollerblade until you're dead.
And
I'm gonna execute the children in front of you.
and
this has been the Safe File podcast.
and every time I make a joke, it causes discord within this group, and I'm Charbel. So. Oh god. Alright, so first and foremost, one thing I want to say is I'm so glad, F, that you took it upon yourself and showed some initiative to change the photo of our channel. Josh, please put the photo in when you're editing this. You've literally drawn a right hook.
Look down.
You've drawn a right hook. I'm amazed.
I made it in pistol. So before all this, I made this animated GIF of our
Which you still need to send to me.
Yeah, but directly after, I thought, you know what? Because the save file is no longer our name as a whole, it's just the name of the podcast, I thought we need a different logo. So I had the audacity to change it.
Listen here.
So I made that
Did you not hear what I was going to do to Charbel?
I made that orange and red literal fishing hook with a fist under the sea.
Under the sea.
I love the context in which he didn't tell us he was doing it. He didn't show us it before.
He just told us to go check the Twitter and our fucking
Motherfucker
YouTube
just
channel.
said, "Hey guys, check out the channel. Did you notice the changes?" And I was like, "Oh no." What have you done?
Also, to be fair though, I'm annoyed that it doesn't say anything. I think it should say "Dance Water Dance." What do you reckon, F?
Oh, you tempted me. You tempted me.
Bringing back KH2 flashbacks.
You're giving me some PTSD, son.
Oh my god.
But we are the Safe File podcast, and today we're here to talk about multiple topics. Angry Joe's back in the news.
Oh yeah. And I also want to talk about Battlefield and Call of Duty tonight.
Alright, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Here we go.
I'm going to get the Angry Joe stuff out of the way, because you're probably expecting a very big reaction from me, but I'm just disappointed now.
It's become an angry joke.
And that's pretty much the height of this podcast. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to strangle Amp to death with an unborn fetus.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no. So Josh, you want to go over what happened?
Alright, so Angry Joe, the well-known video game... He's a critiquer. He's a reviewer. Decided that he would be reacting to the low turnout for the Battlefield 5 pre-orders, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Angry Joe, I will give him the credit of saying that he does bring up legitimate points, but he goes on this really angry political rage about how it's Trump voters and conservatives are the reason why the game sales are so low.
I mean, it could just be that people don't want to buy the game. I mean, one reason I think it could be, and I'm being honest, is October is a packed ass. It's just packed.
Yeah, broke.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
very broke.
You have Red Dead launching just before it, and you have a ton of new releases. End of the day, I think it's actually wedged. Battlefield 5 is wedged between Red Dead and Fallout 76, two of the biggest releases this year, and Spider-Man as well. So, I mean, that could be a factor, but just for the fact that maybe people don't really want to play a Battlefield game, maybe the demand just isn't there. And I mean, considering there was another major World War II shooter last year, with Call of Duty releasing, obviously, Call of Duty World War Two, that might just be people not really wanting to play a World War Two game right now.
Yeah.
I would also chalk it up to the fact that EA is the studio, and they're well known for what they do. The Star Wars Battlefront shit would still probably affect it, and the fact that they fucking told their fan base not to buy it.
Yeah.
They literally said our catchphrase and said, "Don't buy the game if you don't like these things."
So while we're waiting on those royalties, no, this is also what I wanted to point out. It's actually doing worse in pre-orders than Call of Duty this year, believe it or not. Black Ops 4 has overtaken it. That's something I was really surprised to hear. I thought that even with the backlash, I thought that there's no way that Black Ops 4 will overtake it, especially because Black Ops has had a bit of backlash. Last year, Call of Duty made its return to being a old school boots on the ground type shooter, and then they've gone back to the future, quite literally. So
it seems like it's honestly one of those really weird situations where I'm not sure. There's a lot of reasons why the game's going downhill. Look, it is still just pre-orders, guys. They're not indicative of the total amount of sales of a game. But it is pretty unprecedented especially nowadays, for pre-orders to be so low for such a big budget title.
yeah, but
What I'm worried about is that we might lose Battlefield to this. Because
I don't think so. I don't think we'll lose
think
Battlefield. Because, I mean, look, to be fair, the game is still pulling people in. I think there is demand for a Battlefield. I just think that there was a time back around 2010, 2011 where all people wanted to play was Call of Duty or Battlefield 3. But
that's true.
But these people have moved on, and then, not to mention how many more games have come along. We've seen the rise and fall of Battle Royale, or not really fall, because Fortnite's still going strong, but we're seeing Battle Royale games, we're seeing a lot more games that people can play in half an hour.
Short burst.
Like, don't get me wrong, Battlefield is a long-standing series, and there are going to be fans of that series that are going to pre-order it, because they're huge fans of the series, and that's fantastic, but I think the biggest problem, and to me this is symbolic of a bigger problem with games, it's as games have gotten bigger and bigger and required more money, it's going to get to the point where it's just not profitable to make games anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, unless you're Rockstar, CD Projekt, or just any other really, really, really highly respected studio, it's going to take that much longer to get your money back, unless you're going to pump out games, so often. And we've seen in the cases of, Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed series what that can do and how that can sort of degrade the quality of your games as time goes on. It's not something you want to strive for. You want to be making the best possible game, but also you want to be making a game that can sustain, a game that's not going to be a waste of money. But the funny thing is, part of that is just making a damn good game.
Yeah, no, that definitely. It should be the main part. It should be. I know it's not entirely, especially for those big companies, but having a good quality game does go pretty far.
Yeah.
Speaking of CD Projekt Red, they landed themselves into a bit of hot water lately.
Yeah, so I believe they put up a photo, and someone had made a joke saying something like, "Oh yeah, we need more guys." And CD Projekt Red responded by saying, "Did you just assume their genders?" And people took that as really offensive, making a joke like that.
Yeah. The way I found it out was they had deleted the tweet before I gotten to actually learn about the story. But the way I saw it is they posted a bunch of what seems like promotional material, where it's just like a bunch of like dudes in the cyberpunk world that they're making, which is cool. And someone underneath went, "Oh, great, more men. Just what we need." And they responded, "Did you just assume their gender?" And people went fucking ballistic.
Look, I can understand that. Look, certain people will tolerate different things. I'm personally not offended by the joke, but I understand some people might be. I don't. To be honest, this might surprise you, but I wish they hadn't deleted it. End of the day, every time, just because you delete it because of fan backlash, you sort of cave in, You're getting, do you really want people to be scared to make a joke in this day and age?
Yeah.
Look, they deleted it and then they immediately tweeted saying, we're sorry if we offended anyone, that wasn't our intention, but,
It clearly didn't come from a place of hate.
I didn't see it as coming from a place of hate, personally.
And for the people who were offended for this joke, just because you thought the joke wasn't funny, doesn't mean it's, not funny.
Yeah, there is a thing of taste in that. I don't know. It also comes to the professionalism of it, in my mind. I don't think the joke is particularly good for their official page to make.
Nah, definitely not.
Because I believe there's a certain amount of professionalism you need to carry with the official pages and that. Like, you meme and shitpost on your own time, but, like... I found it unprofessional more than anything.
Even then, you are still kind of limited. We've seen what can happen when people post certain things online. They may be, we talked about the ArenaNet fiasco a couple of weeks ago. Like, if you post something that's going to be considered offensive, especially if you do it to, your fans, because, why would you insult the people buying your product? You can lose your job. Like, even though I said, with all due respect, I felt like Jessica Price went too far with her responses. I didn't think she should have been fired. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is they made a joke. It offended some people. They took it down and apologized. I only hope that it ends there. I think it would be unfair if I can't believe I've said it already now. No, CD Projekt Red's name gets dragged through the mud because of a simple joke that they made. Whether you think the joke was in poor taste or not, that's not what the debate is. It's just, I hope it ends here, because I'm sure the last thing they want is any sort of PR nightmares. And I'm not gonna lie, I just don't see it as a big enough deal to kick up a fuss about it.
Yeah, there certainly is that aspect. I think that it may have extended a little too far from what it really deserved, but oh well. I see it as unprofessional. That's all I want to put my 2 cents into that.
Yeah, fair.
I would have said a lot more, but there's really nothing more for me to cover with this.
Yeah.
But there is another company that is in half-filled World War.
Oh, here we go. Who?
What happened?
Gears for Breakfast.
Really? What happened?
So remember how they said they weren't gonna port A Hat in Time for Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they never were, and now they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw like a couple of tweets about this saying, yeah, we should really nail this in and say, yeah, this is a shit go, and like, yeah, if you say you aren't gonna like do something, then don't do it. It's that sort of situation, like, to be pissed off at someone because they didn't feel like,
Okay,
they didn't keep their
I've
promise.
never understood that. Why would you get mad that more people are going to play a game you enjoy?
I think it's because it's a Kickstarter game, so I'm assuming this is probably because people in the Kickstarter didn't get the option of being able to like choose Switch as a platform.
Well, that wasn't... That probably wasn't in their production pipeline at the time. It
definitely wasn't.
I would... I think it'd be fair to assume that maybe they just didn't think the game was going to be successful to warrant a Switch port.
Maybe they just didn't know how the pipeline was going to go down, didn't have any plans for it. Like, maybe it was too overextending.
Yeah, but to me, look, I can understand being annoyed that maybe you really wanted to play it on Switch, but I don't see this as a big deal. If you want it on Switch,
It really is.
if you want it on Switch, by all means, get it on Switch. If you don't want to pay for it again, well, you've still got it on your platform of choice.
I think the problem lied with the fact that they said they will never port it to Switch, like never, and now they.
I mean,
But even
Yeah, they
even
probably
so,
came
that's not even
from
a
a,
problem.
they probably came from a thing of like, we have no plans. We don't believe at this point we're going to. Developers probably shouldn't use the word never because that can backfire.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it's not really that big of a deal.
well, I think that's the thing is this really a big deal that they're porting a game to the Switch? And I don't think it is. I mean,
I'm enjoying it. I'll buy it on Switch. Hell, this sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fun idea.
I mean,
I was gonna buy it on PS4, but now I'm buying it on Switch.
I still haven't played it yet, but my Switch does need more games, so I'll probably look into getting it.
Well, there you go. 3 customers.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Switch, it is getting another surprise port. Have you heard?
What's
Grandia
going
1
to?
and 2?
So,
Oh, Grandia.
no. Saints Row the Third.
Oh really?
Yeah. I saw, I think it was Kotaku had written, the Switch gets another surprise port. And I'm like, what is it? Saints Row the Third. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that is actually really unexpected, but I can imagine being on the train and raising hell in Steelport.
Steelport and Saints Row the Third.
I'm surprised. I was not expecting it.
Weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, I wonder why they haven't gone for the 4th game as well.
They're probably, I don't know. The third came out in, I think it was like 20. That would have been like 2011, roughly. I think 2011, 2012. So it could just be them saying, "All right, well, we'll see where this goes," and the 4th is still pretty fresh in everyone's mind. Plus, you can get the 4th and Gat Out of Hell in a single package. So
Get Out of Hell was so fun. That was a fun game.
I've got Saints Row 3, or the 3rd, which we we're just mentioning. I've got it for PS3 for $5, I think.
and with the key sales.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. No, seriously, there's like there's a video store like in my town that's still open, and they're selling games, and you can rent them as well, but you can just buy them straight up for $5. And I got God of War not trilogy, the God of War collection, which contains God of War 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Then I got Saints Row, and then I think I got no, I think those are the only 2 I got. Yeah, those are the only 2 I got from there.
I'm more impressed. There's a video store still open.
Yeah, I'm actually
That
still
actually
surprised.
is impressive.
Do they take check?
No, I think so. Yeah, they still sell a lot of stuff. They still sell and they still rent. Like they're still.
You know
getting
what?
games
One
in.
of the best purchases I ever made was I bought Burnout 3 for $30, not too long after it released. And I got that from the Video Easy that was in my area at the time, which was fucking great. I mean, yeah. Like, seriously, it's fucking phenomenal, man. But I got one of the best racing games of all time, in my opinion, for $30, not too long after release.
Wow.
That Video Easy was closing down, that's why, because they had like some massive sale going on. But, they passed the savings on to me.
I remember a while ago that my parents got they got an entire box of SNES games from Video Easy a long time ago when we had a Video Easy. Well, we used to have we used to have we actually had 3 video stores in this town. Surprisingly, so I think it was one of them that my parents got a box of SNES games, and it contained Star Wing or Star Fox, and that was probably the only one I remember. There was a hell lot more. I think that was the only one I remember, but there was like another 10 in there. But yeah, those were my first experience with games.
Alright, so speaking of video game rentals, you know what I actually really want on the PS4? I actually like the idea of Xbox Game Pass. And I wish we had something similar to that. But my issue with PlayStation now is it's all streaming. And of course, us being Aussies, that's not an option.
No.
I mean, it's man, it bothers me so much because I wish that I could play some of those games. And it's just like, yeah, nah, man, stream it, which sucks.
There's just Australia really needs to pick up its internet game.
Oh yeah.
No, what bothers me is the original way our NBN was going to be was that everyone was going to have fiber to the premises, right? And and that sounds like a great deal, but then they said no. It's a bit expensive. Let's go fiber to the node, and then we use the current infrastructure to the premises. Then there were so many issues with that they made a big deal about rolling out a whole new NBN plan and said, all right, fiber to the curb.
Nah, let's just ditch fiber and have carbon.
At this point, I'm expecting them to just be like, oh yeah, we're going to take out the fiber and have brand new copper wiring.
New copper wiring. Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh man, coming to you by Steam Train, hopefully.
Also, by the way, talking about Switch news, Grandia 1 and 2 are getting remakes on the Switch.
Oh, I finally get to experience it.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. Grandia is really... That came out of fucking nowhere.
I know, right? Like, I'm just glad that they're bringing back classics.
Yeah, no, I
Like
can't
the other
wait.
day, Shenmue 1 and 2 came.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're out now.
And Shenmue 3 is has a release date now.
Oh yeah, what's the release date?
Dude, why did you do this to me? Alright, hold on.
You were the one that announced it.
I know, but doesn't mean I know anything.
It's 2019. I think it's
27th of
August.
August 2019.
Oh, there you go.
Literally in 1 year.
Just over a year, to be fair.
Yeah, just over a year.
Oh, for a second I'm like, is it already the 27th? I was tripping out. Oh man.
Nah. It comes out next August on the 27th. Like Oh, I haven't played Shenmue 1 and 2 yet. Like, I think I should. Like, I'm tempted.
Yeah, I
to
gotta
buy it.
get around to it. It sounds like it'd be fun. I really want to play the Yakuza games.
Oh man, I have Yakuza 0 currently on my PS4. I've been playing it a bit. It's actually great. It took me ages to get
See,
into
this
it.
is why we need a fucking streaming channel together, just so we can...
I don't have the internet to stream that shit.
I know! None of us do, but...
Ugh.
That doesn't stop Australians from trying to stream.
So
There are some people in Melbourne who can stream.
oh man.
Oh,
But no,
I wish they.
I've got to say, what is the worst case that your internet has ever had in memory?
The month where I didn't have internet was pretty good.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Oh,
Well,
fuck's sake.
there
That-
was
that-
the part
Go ahead.
where there was the part where my grandma didn't pay the bills like 3 times.
That sounds like
this-
your grandma needs to pay the bills. Rather than the internet problem. The internet works fine. You didn't.
No, like the internet worked like it went fine, and then all of a sudden it just drops out and went to its low, and I was going, what the fuck? What's going on here? And I tried to fix it, and then I got my answer the next day saying, yeah. the
Yeah, I'm
bills
gonna
are,
fucking
overdue."
walk up, smack grandma up the head. You gotta stop paying bills, bitch.
And then she smacks you back and reminds you whose house it is.
Oh, dude.
Oof.
I don't. I'd get smacked into space.
Go commit unalive.
No, I remember. I bring this up because I remember the worst customer experience I've ever had with internet was. Do you remember back in 2015 when Sydney had those heavy rains and parts of the city like were dealing with flash floods and shit?
Yes.
Yeah. My internet. So I normally get around 13 to 18 megabits, like roughly as a download speed.
Yes, 'tis yes.
I dropped to less than 1 megabit. Alright?
Oh my god.
So I call up Optus and I'm like, hey, I've now, unlike you, Anth, I paid my bill. So there was no reason it should have been like that. And I call them up and I'm like, hey, yeah, my internet's slightly fucked. Here's the situation. They said to me, "Could you run a speed test?" I go, "I spent half an hour running a speed test because the internet was so bad and it couldn't connect to the servers for so long."
Jesus.
And they said, "Oh, well, you're really lucky to have internet right now. A lot of people in the country don't have internet." And I'm like, I lost my shit. I'm like, "Listen here, mate." I'm like, "I pay you on time. I expect the service I'm paying for. I'm not lucky to have what I'm paying you for."
How can it be lucky to have 1 megabyte? Or
Megabit, yeah, not a megabyte. And I was just like, man, you can't tell someone they're lucky to have a service that they're paying you for. That's not how luck works.
That's kind of like me punching you in the gut and you go, "You should feel grateful. Some people are dead."
Some people... that analogy.
You shoot someone in the leg and like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." You're just lucky that the bullet didn't ricochet into your head.
Yeah, well, I could have shot you in the fucking head.
I mean, look, thank God I wasn't grinding on GTA back then. I was playing single-player
Oh my
games.
god, you're passive grinding.
Yeah, no, for those who don't know, there's an actual thing on GTA where if you leave your character in GTA Online watching TV in-game, even if the TV's off, you don't get kicked from your lobby. So I would do that and just let my nightclubs and biker businesses and bunker do stuff. I'd go to bed with GTA on, wake up and sell the stuff.
You're such a fucking cheat. And they shouldn't let you do that.
Yeah, but at the same time...
They shouldn't have to make
Well, they shouldn't have a Mini Cooper that costs 500 grand in-game.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Mate, I'm not buying a shark card.
Have you considered toppling the capitalist government of the game?
They haven't put in that expansion yet.
Oh, their goddamn expansion.
Also, the one thing I wish GTA 5 did differently was I wish they had single player DLC.
You wish they had
Single
what?
player DLC.
Oh yeah, no, that would actually be nice.
Yeah. Apparently a while back, Ned Luke, the voice of Michael in game, had said there were plans for it, but they never went ahead or something along those lines. Rockstar's official explanation was, GTA Online was so popular, so we decided to make more content for that.
We were just making so much money. Why fucking do the single player?
But no, you know what? I can't blame them. Look, if I was making half the money that they make from GTA Online per year, then I'd continue to make nothing but GTA Online stuff as well.
GTA is going to be an MMO by the end of it.
Oh, God. Now, I remember the funniest thing was there was a photo and it showed all of Rockstar's... every year since 2001. And it had a timeline of Rockstar releases and it says, guess what year they discovered microtransactions? And you look at 2013 and there's just nothing for 5 years after that.
Oh, that's so bad. But if they're making money and people are happy, that's all that's really mattering.
Yeah, it's funny.
Rockstar's one of the better companies.
I laugh. A lot of people aren't happy, but they also just play GTA. So, I mean, I'm confused. The more money you spend in GTA, the more content they're going to put out for GTA.
Stop buying shit. God damn it. Just when they learn, they get reeled back.
I feel like we have a catchphrase for that.
Yeah, just don't buy it.
Just don't buy it. Oh, you know what? For Christmas, I'm getting you both shirts with that printed on.
Please do.
Someone make a theme song with the lyrics "Just Don't." Come on, that'll be our fucking theme
Josh.
song. You'll just cut out.
No one's gonna buy anything we fucking make.
No,
Anything we make is not gonna make any money.
oh my god. Josh could literally make a website of merchandise for us. One of the things could be like a briefcase full of money and people still wouldn't buy it.
Just imagine if we made a game.
It's $1,000. We're giving it for you for 900.
Just imagine we made a game and it was called "Just Don't Buy This Game," the game, and it sells.
Yeah, and they buy it, and then it just says you lose.
It's just a white wallpaper saying "you lose" in big letters.
Yes, you lose.
You just lost the game.
Oh man, but you know what?
How to make $500 for $500.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I honestly believe that games now are bigger than any of us, would have anticipated had we been in the same position 20 years ago.
Oh fuck yeah!
Like-
Games are way bigger now than they ever were.
Like, I mean, 20 years ago, people used to buy games, based off movies. Now, people go see movies based off games.
Yeah, I just wish they were good.
Look, some have been.
Name 3.
Okay, that's a heavy, heavy, heavy thing to say, right? So we've got... Warcraft wasn't that bad. I don't think Warcraft was that bad.
Mm.
And yeah, Warcraft was okay. No, I'm kidding.
I liked Advent Children.
Really?
Yeah,
Boy.
I liked it.
I can actually feel the disappointment in Josh right now.
Boy.
Okay, just to make you feel better, I liked the Layton movie
Look.
as well.
You know what? You know what game I think would be amazing as a movie?
Bioshock?
I didn't. Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of. But yes, that would be. But Bulletstorm. Do any of you remember that?
Remember Bulletstorm?
That was the.
That would make an interesting movie.
Oh my god, Dead Set. I've been replaying it because I've got the full clip edition now on PS4, and it's just fucking fun. Nothing else. It's just fun. Seriously, the fact that they have a sniper in the game that fires explosive rounds that you can remote control into enemies. I mean, that's it. Literally, you could turn your enemies into suicide bombers with a certain gun. That is amazing. It's honestly just a fun game. I forgot how much fun it was. I'm so glad I'm replaying it.
Uncharted.
Uncharted would be a good movie if they get the casting right.
The Last of Us, definitely.
Yeah, I could see The Last of Us being one hell of a movie, but I think Last of Us would probably be better as a TV show, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
can see it being there as a TV show.
Speaking of TV shows, there's a theory about the GTA universe, yeah? And there's a theory that every type of game Rockstar makes is
in the same universe.
is in the same universe, but Red Dead Redemption's a book series, Max Payne is a movie series, and LA Noire is a TV series, right? Now,
Okay.
LA Noire as a TV show would be fucking amazing, don't you think? It would literally...
Oh, yeah, no, that would be a good show.
It would just be like 1950s CSI.
I think a lot of the games that make good movies are games that kind of go a little too cinematic.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid would be a fantastic TV show, but you'd have to watch it from start to end without any breaks, and you might get it.
No,
Then Kojima just comes out at the end and slaps you in the face.
no. What you gotta do, yeah? Can you imagine how long the credit scene would be for each episode? It would be longer than the episode.
If Hideo Kojima was still involved, could you imagine his name in the credits? Like it's every single one.
And
He would just embolden it, just put it right at the fucking top. Just like, I made this, remember?
also, I would crack the shits if Snake Eater was not the theme for every episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And we
Could you
can just
imagine-
get rid of that stupid plot twist in 5. Do you guys play 5?
Not finished it,
Yeah,
but I think I know what you're referring to.
Okay,
know what you're
Shabelle,
referring to.
what is the plot twist?
Isn't it that you've had plastic surgery and you're just imitating Snake?
Yes. You are in fact not Big Boss. Big Boss was off somewhere else doing something else. You were I think you were like his surgeon or something.
Yeah, you're the surgeon. No, wait, no. Yeah, you're the surgeon. You're the surgeon, but you're also equal to Big Boss in skill.
But how does that make sense?
Because you're a skilled surgeon. And bullets are like surgery. You're just like one way.
Apparently, he's good at that CQC stuff that they always do.
Yeah,
that?
why was the surgeon good at CQC?
In case anyone got lippy during an operation.
Why did like Miller and Ocelot just go, yeah, sure, why not? Let's just fuck around with this guy.
What I fucking love is that CQC predates judo as an Olympic sport.
Apparently.
Seriously?
Yeah. yes, it does. It takes place
That close quarters combat.
Yeah, cause Metal Gear Solid 3, I think it takes place in 1950. correct me on this, anyone who's watching. 1953, I think.
Nah, it's got to be way later than 50. Isn't it in the 80s?
No, no. Metal Gear Solid 3 took place.
No,
earlier.
remember, because Metal Gear is like in the distant future of 2006.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid.
No, I think Metal Gear Solid 3 takes place in the 60s, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be the 60s.
Yeah.
But the judo as an Olympic sport was like mid 60s, but this was like early 60s.
Oh my god.
It's like one before it. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's storytelling, and everyone says like in the game that when you use CQ, not everyone, like during cutscenes, I think it was Volgan. You use it on him, and they're like, "What the fuck is that judo?" And then I think Ocelot says the same thing. And this is before judo became an Olympic sport.
I love the. I love Metal Gear Solid 3 might be the best Metal Gear game.
Oh yeah, hands down. But my favorite
5 is
4,
definitely close though.
4's my favorite.
Listen, I will not abide by your movie that you're talking about. That game was a movie. Fuck it.
I liked 4. It was pretty good.
I'm not saying 4 was bad. I'm saying it was a movie.
I'm not gonna lie. I did bring out the popcorn.
Like, fuck, it was mostly cutscenes. It's like Final Fantasy 13. Again, probably a better movie than a better game.
That was how I felt about Eternal Sonata.
Yeah. I'm getting a little worried about Final Fantasy 7 Remake being episodic and a JRPG.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that as well.
Trouble. How though?
Look, I wouldn't say I'm worried. I just sort of want it to release.
Well, you're gonna have to wait until like 2025.
Yeah.
I think I see where they're going with it though, because they said that the episodic format is not going to be like, I guess, traditional episodic format where it's like.
Well, it can't be. How are you gonna do it? Are you gonna introduce a level cap? Like.
I think they're trying to replicate Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3.
Oh, okay. I can actually see.
You remember how they used to do that back then? Like you had to like switch discs.
Yeah, the disc thing. When was the last time you had to switch discs?
Final Fantasy 13 on Xbox 360.
Oh right, that had multiple discs, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no, GTA 5 as well had multiple discs.
Yeah, GTA 5 did.
It had multiple discs.
Sort of. There was an install disc and a game disc.
Okay, so I had the last time I truly had a game that was spread across multiple discs was Blue Dragon on Xbox 360. Has anyone here even heard of Blue Dragon?
What was it?
I've heard of it.
I haven't heard of it.
Blue Dragon it was an RPG. I can't remember. It was designed by people who made something else, but I can't remember.
They did Lost Odyssey, which also has multiple discs.
Lost Odyssey. Oh god, they used to work on some mainline series, but basically it was about like a kid. You were in a world that was like being terrorized by sky people that dropped robotic sharks on villages, and you ate something, and then your shadow came to life, and it was a fucking dragon, and it was an RPG.
The fuck is this, like JoJo Persona?
It actually is a bit like I would say it's closest to JoJo. Because it's like a mix between JoJo and Persona. Like each of them is like a stand where, like you can only get like really they can act independently and like you only get one. But it's kind of like Persona where you level it up and you like teach it new skills. It's a very weird game that was pretty cool.
You know what?
Actually, yeah. What's the most obscure weird game you've played?
I'm gonna have to look at my PS2 collection for this.
I have to really think about this. I mean, I was gonna say Eternal Sonata, but there's gonna be some weird fucking stuff I've played.
I mean, I guess the closest thing that I've got to like a weird game would probably be Outlaw Golf 2.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have that many weird games.
I think mine's gonna be Voodoo Vince.
Voodoo Vince?
Voodoo Vince.
Hang on. What? Oh, no, I got one.
Here we go. What do you got?
Puppeteer.
What?
Puppeteer. I
Don't
got
even-
that game for like $6.
I don't even know what that is.
All right, Puppeteer is it's a platform game, and it's a platformer, and you play as. Essentially, you lose your head. You're this kid named Kudero, and you lose your head, and one of the main mechanics is like getting heads, and they're essentially like, I guess, your health and life.
I was gonna say, you cut out for a second. Did you say that your main goal is getting head?
In some ways, yes, but not literally.
Sometimes you just gotta go get ahead.
Are they heads of varying quality?
Are some of them superior than others?
They certainly don't suck. That's for sure.
I swear to God, if you turn over the back of the game, it should just say "get good head." If it doesn't, they missed out.
Some heads suck, but some don't.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
God damn it,
essentially,
Josh.
Yeah, the mechanic is, yeah, you get heads, heads, and I think one of the weapons you get is scissors.
What?
Yeah, because you gotta cut them strings.
Yeah, you gotta get them strings. Like the game is like, I guess think of it as like if the Japanese did Little Big Planet. It's like Little Big Planet but with more mechanics. So I guess look it up. It's a pretty fun game. Like I enjoyed my time with it.
Alright. While we're on the topic of episodic games, I feel like I would have missed an opportunity if I didn't bring this game up. Life is Strange 2 has a trailer now.
Oh, that's
Oh
good.
yeah, that's.
I can't wait. But I think it comes out September 28th, I want to say. But, oh man. I can't wait for it. I love the first game. Hopefully this will be just as good.
Yeah, hopefully it
play
will
that
be just as good.
I have faith in Donut.
Did you play the Captain Spirit?
I
Not
hope
yet,
they put
not
you
yet.
Through hell. I hope the ending's better in 2.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
Josh, I've got an announcement to make.
Oh.
I am proud of our boy Amph here.
Oh yeah.
What have you done?
He has finally played and finished Red Dead Redemption.
He did
Yes.
it! Our boy's grown up!
Oh yes, I finished it. I promised. Like I said this, like I think the last podcast
Yeah.
episode that I will play. I'm interested in playing it, and as soon as we were done with the podcast, like a day later, I put it into my PS3, started playing the hell out of it, and my God, like by Jove, boys, it is a very good experience. Like
It's such a good game. I can't believe you hadn't played it.
I know, right? I should have played it a long time ago. I never got like the urge to pick it up until like I saw it at a shop called Sex, CEX.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any other way.
If I'm getting worried about you, man. You're buying your games from Sex. You're playing games about getting head, mate. What are you up to?
We need to ban video games.
I'm just a bit frustrated.
Oh God.
But, my dude, alright, give us your review of Red Dead.
Oh, Red Dead. Well, Red Dead. So, it's so very atmospheric. Like, it's basically like. It's basically Cowboy GTA, but it's much more than that.
If I'm going to strangle you if you describe Red Dead as Cowboy GTA again.
I know. I was about to say, don't kill me on this, but I'm going to expand on that. So, you can't just go killing everybody you can, because they'll lower your honor. And I guess having higher honor has better perks than having dishonor. It's a mechanic, which, you have, a level of honor which you get from completing missions. You can lower it by murdering or committing heinous acts. Or you can get more by helping people and whatnot, or completing missions. I decided to take a very honorable route, and I certainly like that system. It gives more, I guess, an incentive not to kill people, or kill the right people. I guess in Red Dead, but I guess there were certain like points where I might have did some dishonorable stuff, but like anyhow, like no, like as saying, the game is very good. Like I enjoyed my time with it. The story is amazing, but the sad part is the Mexico, that song that plays in Mexico didn't play for me. And
But that's Chabel's best part.
I know, but the part where you spoiler alert, spoiler alert. You when you kill Dutch Van der Linde, like when you leave the scene, a song starts playing called Compass.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the most amazing experience one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in a game. It gave me North Yankton vibes, son. It gave me North Yankton vibes.
North Yankton vibes.
North Yankton vibes. You remember in GTA
Yeah.
5 when you went to North Yankton and it had that, that 80s fucking like song playing in the background, and you heard like voices, like flashback voices.
Yes.
It gave me those sort of feels. It gave me the same exact feels as that. And it was amazing. Except for the part where the song ended and I jumped off the cliff and my horse died.
And a dramatic end to the tale.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear the end of that song because I got attacked by a fucking bear. That completely ruined the fucking mood.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, it's an amazing experience. Like, I let the song play. I might have went through, like... I must have taken a detour route where I went to a very high place instead of a lower place.
If it literally gives you... It tells you the direction to go on your minimap.
No, I went the way I went. I took like a fucking scenic route instead.
Yeah, clearly.
And I realized it was...
You also took the scenic detour by falling off the cliff.
I didn't die though. The horse did.
I didn't die, but I definitely murdered my fucking. I definitely murdered my horse.
And skinned it.
God damn it, F.
But no, as soon as that happened, I was like, oh shit. I started running and called for my next horse, and then the scene automatically skipped all the way to the I'm just going, okay.
But that ending though in Red Dead.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking...
To be gunned down.
I fucking hate... Okay, spoiler alert. The person who betrays you at the end is the person who's been giving you the mission to hunt down these, your fellow...
The government was the real enemy.
Yeah, your criminal brothers in arms. His name is...
Edgar Ross.
Edgar Ross. Edgar fuckwit. Like...
Edgar shot him in the nuts 3 times.
No, like seriously, like by the time you started playing as Jack at the end, I didn't hesitate to murder his entire family.
My dude, you missed the point of the game.
I know. But an eye for an eye. I know it makes the world go blind, but you know, I could always take a few extra eyes with me.
If he shot one person in your family, you shot him, his wife, and his brother.
Oh yeah.
I want him dead. I want his dog dead. I want his cat dead.
Wait, what was before the cat?
Look, I just want him dead, alright?
Oh man, I'm actually, that's the happiest you've made me with this, because you just said a Simpsons reference.
Yeah.
Man.
But no, I did it for fucking Abigail. I did it for Uncle, man. I did it for all of them. Uncle
was dead set. I guarantee you, Uncle would be on Centrelink if he was living in like 2010 Sydney. 100%, bro. He does nothing.
I know. In the era, people weren't that clean, but his fucking beard just gives me that fucking rank feel. Like, dude, every time I look at that green, like, I think algae on his beard, like, I swear to God, it's algae. I don't even want to know.
I don't know what the actual term for it is, but you get it from smoking. Like, when you're a massive chain smoker, you see that.
It looks like he's dipped his fucking lips in horse shit.
Alright, so don't smoke, kids.
Otherwise, you'll end up looking like you've dipped your lips in horse shit.
It looks so bad. I just look at it, I'm going, I would not want to stand like 1 meter next to him. Like,
Imagine if Ev like gets to the property playing as John Marston and immediately uses
Oh, what the fuck is that?
that's Uncle.
Just fucking shoot it, Deadeye him in the beard.
But now,
Fuck up, Uncle. Fuck up.
now that you've played Red Dead 1, how keen are you for Red Dead 2?
Oh, I am so fucking keen, dude. Like, oh.
Man,
But,
I can't
like,
wait.
I wanna like I wanna play it now. I wanna find out like how the Vanderlyn gang rolled back then.
How they rolled.
How they rolled.
I'm pretty sure they rolled right through the bank.
I think they rolled.
I think
Like their
I think
heads.
like my favorite line in Red Dead 1 is there's a part where John and Edgar Ross are on the way to a mission and he's going over all the bad things John and the gang did and he's like, you robbed over 40 banks, John, excuse me, and John goes, yeah, they told us there was a price if you got to 50.
Oh my god.
Did you kill Edgar Ross with his with the gun he gave you, the high power pistol?
I actually used the Cattleman revolver, if you remember, that's the one you started with. I used that, put a bullet right through his eye, and then several more shotgun shells.
Man, gangs are violent.
Jesus Christ.
No, I just kept shooting him until his until his body was like flowing down the river.
Holy shit. That's some hardcore revenge.
You killed his wife and his brother.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
don't have
you
the
know
right
what?
to
Fair
talk.
enough.
Yeah, that's touche.
That's 2, 3, and 4
all
shade.
jokes aside, we're looking forward to the next Red Dead. We've had a good time here today, and joining me today on the Safe File podcast has been late again as usual, F
Hey, what up?
And
Big Mac.
yep.
Never gonna live down that name.
Hey, what's your name in the chat, Josh? Why don't you remind everyone?
Remind me again.
Your name is
it's
Time the Doki Doki Panic is your name.
And I wear it like a badge of pride. And we are,
Uh,
and that's all for today. Signing off.
Signing off.
signing off.